So some of them are no longer with us, but I'm sure they're blessing us from there. And few of them are still with us, and we get to see them every year when we come for the oration or in some of the conferences. So thank you so much for mentoring us. I would just take few of the names. Last oration I had presented few faces of our batch. This I've chosen few more. Two of our alumni are working with the college. One is the director at the sports medicine, Dr. Anup. Dr. Rochna Dikshit, she happens to be the associate prof in the anesthesia department. So they are my batchmates. So if you see them, do respect them. Because they are your third batch. We have Dr. Vijay, who happens to be the robotic surgeon, and he's pioneer here. He is the first one to have installed a robotic surgery in his hospital in Navi Mumbai and Raigad. Dr. Sunil Vani is a celebrity interventional cardiologist working with Kokilaben Ambani. We have Dr. Uday Kapoor, he's Delhi-based. He's a GM of Maths Group for Medical Quality Control. We have politicians also amongst us. He happens to be owner of a hospital and also was an ex-mayor of Bhiwanti constituency. We have Dr. Akash Rajpal, who is an executive vice president at Medica Bazaar, which is a B2B for healthcare. Dr. Kamal Ghanshamlani, who happens to be my love, whom I found in this college, married to. He is the ENT surgeon. And somebody asked me what is the best thing you got here. I think I got my best here. So he is the leading ENT surgeon. Right now we own our own hospital in Thane and he's attached to Jupiter Hospital as well. We have Dr. Shruti Tapewala, nerdy wordy friend, who is now a nephrologist and heads the multi-organ donation at the global hospitals. She's doing a fabulous work. Anybody interested in organ donation, please do get in touch with her because she's doing a fantabulous job here. We have Dr. Jasmine Tamboli Surve, who is a leading gynecologist and IVF specialist in Navi Mumbai, and she's a very good friend of mine. Dr. Nusrat, these all are right now who have come to this oration. They are in with us right now. Dr. Nusrat is an ophthalmologist leading. Dr. Vishaka is a practicing psychiatrist. Dr. Roy D'Souza is a teleradiologist. Imagine he's minting money in dollars in India and living a life of avid nature. I mean, he has a bungalow, he's made it, he's growing vegetables. So a good mix of health and self-care and nature care. So Roy is also with us. You get some tips about how to do gardening. We have a celebrity dermatologist, celebrity doctor to celebrity clients, and Dr. Dinesh Jain. We have many of our colleagues who have settled abroad and all over the world, I would say, globe-trotting doctors in Dubai, somebody is doing a business in US, running a healthcare for primary healthcare service for old age. Psychiatry department she's heading. So we have lots of our colleagues all over. So this very good mix who have been mentored at the age of 18 at this premises wants to give back. So this is our class reunion photo of 25 years, wherein all of us thought that how do we bond back when we are turning 50. So all of us are in the brim of turning 50 and we thought this is the ideal time to give back to our alma mater. So thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, and we are very privileged to host our second oration called Atmosphere. Atmosphere, which is going beyond medicine. So how is that we are connected as medical professionals to our environment? And to none better than today's speaker to take you through this oration of Atmosphere Beyond Medicine 2023, Dr. Sharang Vartikar. Dr. Sharang, when I was going through his profile, I know him because he's a little junior to me as an ophthalmologist. I was awestruck because he's an ideal parent's child. I mean, a parent will be proud to have a child like him because he's excelled everywhere. He is a practicing vitreoretinal surgeon in Thane Mulund area. He has done his schooling.
Or even if we do what the government is planning to do, they are just pledges, right? Even then the temperature is going to go up, right? So this is something that only government initiatives is not going to be enough. We need to do something as citizens as well. But why is global temperature so important? I mean, we have our ACs, 4-5 degree बढ़ गया तो क्या? We can just switch on the ACs, we can carry on. But no, it has its implications. Now the glaciers are melting. It is said that the Arctic Ocean may be ice-free by 2050. The sea levels are rising. All this melting is going to go into the oceans. The levels are increasing. What will that do? There's going to be flooding. That could lead to territory wars, because where are all these people going to go? Look at these cities that are probably going to go underwater. Storms and hurricanes. We can just see all these in the news if you see. Every now and then you keep hearing about this. Wildfires are happening, floods, heat waves, droughts, species going extinct. Look at this. Current species extinction rate up to 10,000 times higher than natural. You know what that means? When this happens, it is known as a mass extinction. We are probably headed for the 6th mass extinction. We could be very much in it. The last mass extinction occurred when the dinosaurs were wiped out of this planet. That is the rate of species extinction that is happening. You and I sitting here, we are not aware. Because this is not happening in our cities. This is happening in the forests, in the oceans. All past extinctions were due to natural calamity. Sadly, this one is entirely due to human activity. And humans have been on this planet for a very short period of time. So what can you and I do? For that, we need to first understand why is this happening. Right? When we talk of climate change, these are the things that come to our mind, right? Electricity, manufacturing, construction, transportation, so much pollution happening. And that is probably the cause of climate change. But what no one talks about is probably one of the food production. Right? This is an excellent documentary where it shows how we are eating our way to extinction. What does that mean? Do we stop eating? Well, thankfully not. But we need to be smart and eat smart. Well, when you talk of food production, we could either have plant agriculture where humans grow, plants in order to consume them directly, or it could be animal agriculture, where we grow animals so that we can consume them or their byproducts. Now, why I say grow? Because these animals are not naturally born on this planet. We have bred them with the help of artificial methods. That's why we are growing them. And from them, we get meat, fish, eggs, and milk. Right? Now, 10,000 years ago, if you look at all the mammals on the planet and you take their biomass, okay, the weight, 99% were all wild mammals, right? 10,000 years ago. And only 1% were humans. That was our contribution to the planet. And of course, livestock, which is the animals that humans were breeding, were practically zero. Right? Now today, all these mammals, can anybody guess what would be their amount? They were 99% earlier. Any random figures that can come to your mind? We can keep this interactive, guys. Please. Anybody? 10%. 10%, somebody said. Yes, anybody? 40%. 5%. 0.1%. Who's that? Okay. That's a little too pessimistic a thought, but I'm glad you're seeing that. It's 4%, right? From 99%, we have brought all the wild animals. I'm not talking of, they're going to pee and they're going to poo, and they're going to burp and they're going to fart. Now this is going to happen, right? Each thing has some consequence. Now whenever they burp and fart, they're going to release greenhouse gases. In their stomach, there are microbes which release methane. So that comes out from the burp of these cows, and also when they fart, their excretion will release nitrous oxide. Okay, but seriously, how bad can a burp and a fart be, right? Well, let us see. If you put the annual carbon emission of cows on the planet on one side, it is more than the annual emissions of Australia, Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Spain, and UK combined. We are worried about transportation, right? Electric vehicles is what is going to save us. Because all this, cars, trucks, trains, aeroplanes, everything releasing so many gases. You put it on one side, it is still less than what the cows are contributing. If you see, compare the foods, then meat and dairy are responsible for more than 66% of the gases. and a portion of the least offender animal protein is still worse than the worst offender plant protein. 1 calorie of animal protein requires 11 times the fossil fuel, and a meat diet creates 7 times the emission of a plant-based diet. And these are all toxic gases, right? So they cause air pollution, and anybody staying close to these farms is suffering from chronic asthma, respiratory irritation, even mood disorders. So we have seen they release greenhouse emissions and they cause air pollution. Now just because they exist, they are going to occupy land. Now Earth's surface, we know 71% is water, this 29% is land. Now out of this 29%, only 71% is habitable. Rest is all glaciers and deserts. Now out of this, food production uses 50% of the land. Right? That's agriculture, 50%. Out of that, 77% land is for livestock. And for plants, it is 23%. Yet, from this 77%, we derive only 18% of the global calorie requirement, while the remaining 82% still comes from the crops. So 1/3 of the total land mass available is going towards livestock. To put it in perspective, only 1% has gone in urban development. Meaning, if you put all the cities and towns of the world together, cram them together, they occupy only 1% of the entire land mass available, while livestock is occupying 1/3 of the land mass. And it is increasing. Day by day, the land allotted towards agriculture is increasing. Just look at this image. Now, this is in 1800. The land is a lot of colors there, but look at this pink color. It's for pasture, where animals are, fed. Right? You don't see any pink here. Cut to 2014, you see all the pink that is spreading. And let me show you again. See this. That is how it is spreading. Right? Because it is one of the biggest driver of deforestation. And this is happening not here, not around us. We get very worked up when, RM milk colony, some 100 trees are cut and all. But as I speak right now, Amazon forest, the size of 10 football fields, is getting cut every single minute. And we are not even aware of this. If you see, the land needed for production of animal products is far, far more than required for vegetables. It is said that 18 times more land requirement is there for a meat diet as compared to a plant-based diet. So they are responsible for land shortage and they are responsible for deforestation. Now they are going to eat and drink, and they are going to eat and drink a lot. Compared to humans, their consumption is 6 to 8 times more. Now we say, 71% covered with water. So that seems like a lot of water, right? 71%. But you have to understand, this water is only on the surface, right? So if you take all the water and make a sphere out of it, this is how it is going to look. So there's not really much of water that we are talking of here. And out of this also, 97% is in the oceans, which is saline water, which we cannot use for drinking. Out of the 3% drinking water, 2% is locked up in the glaciers, which we are not able to consume, and these are melting and again contributing to the saline water. So again, we are losing that water as well. So what is left and what we are surviving on really is less than 1% of underground and lakes and rivers. And that we are extracting to such an extent that the earth still has changed because of removal of the fluid from within it, of the water within it, by 31.5 inches. That is the amount of extraction that we are doing because we don't have anything else left. And it's precious, water is precious. 1 in 6 have no access to fresh drinking water, yet the meat and dairy uses 1/3 of the earth's drinking water. And we worry a lot about the domestic usage. But compared to the domestic usage, the animal agriculture is using a lot more of the water. And 5 species which are getting extinct, they are getting extinct there in the oceans. We are not even aware of that. And it mitigates the climate because of the ocean currents. The heat is transferred from hot to cooler areas. Now, the increased amount of carbon dioxide is getting absorbed in the oceans and the pH is changing. As a result, the phytoplanktons are getting killed. And then they are not able to generate the amount of oxygen, neither are they able to absorb the carbon dioxide, which leads to more carbon dioxide, and that becomes a vicious cycle. And these phytoplanktons are like a soup, living soup for all the animals to survive on. And as a result of killing them, we are causing a complete collapse of the marine ecosystem. Gardens of corals and sponges are now being left into what are called as dead zones. And these dead zones have been documented and they are spreading all over from the coasts. Each year, fishing trawlers plow the seafloor twice the size of United States. And we are killing 3 trillion fish every year. And 40% is bycatch. They take these huge nets, they go through the oceans, and whatever comes is killed. We don't even use half of it. When I say 3 trillion, what does it strike? I mean, we know it's a huge number, right? We probably think, yeah, it's 3 with a lot of zeros. But just, we once it goes beyond a certain figure, our mind becomes blank. It's all the same. Billion kya, trillion kya, quadrillion kya, it doesn't make sense. But I would like you to pause and take it into constant. When I say 3 trillion, and suppose I tell you that you start counting from 1 to 3 trillion, can anybody guess how much time it will take you? Maybe in few days or months or whatever. Anybody?
Years.
Years. How many years?
3 to 5.
3 to 5 years. Anybody else? 2 years.
2 weeks.
Come on, guys. 1 year. 6. So maybe 4, 5, 6 years. That is what I'm getting, right? Let me tell you. It will take you 100,000 years. That itself is a huge number to understand. It will take you 1400 lifetimes. You have to die, be born, and you'll still be counting. That is the value of that figure. It's huge. If you start walking 3 trillion steps, where do you think you will go? Just imagine you have a straight road.
Moon.
Sorry? 50,000 trips around the earth. Someone said Chandrayaan. Suppose now we go to Chandrayaan, yeah? Can we reach there? Probably. Can we come back? Probably. 3,000 trips to Chandrayaan. And now Aditya L1 has been launched. We're going to the sun. We can make 8 trips to the sun and back. That much is 3 trillion which we are killing. We shift to a plant-based diet. Because every single day, one person can save one animal's life, obviously, 20 kgs of grain, 9 kgs of carbon dioxide emissions, 30 square feet of forest, 4,200 liters of water, and probably add some more life because studies have shown that plant-based diet, people live a little longer. I have been on a plant-based diet for the past 5 years now, and if you look at the figures, I have probably saved enough water for 10,000 people for a year. 200 people for a year can feed on what has not been consumed. Forests have been saved 20 tennis court size, and emissions equivalent to a car driven 1.25 lakh kilometers. Besides saving some animal lives and as well as adding hopefully some months to my life. To be honest, I have experienced some side effects, and this is how I was before. And so these are some of the side effects I am having to live with. I even tried checking my own blood parameters because even I was wondering what this will lead to. I was never, there was nothing abnormal in my blood parameters thankfully, but everything has come down much on the lower side of abnormal. So when we look at all these problems, you and I have a choice and we can choose a plant-based diet. It's simple, it's substantial, it is spiritually uplifting as well. And what we are talking of is not somewhere in the distant future that we are talking. 2050 is not far off. These are my kids who won't be even my age by the time these things they are going to face. Their future is in our hands. We owe it to them to leave our planet in a better state than we found it. That is the least that we can do. We have a choice today. Tomorrow, they may not have a choice. Now, I am a big animation fan. I mean, I don't know anybody here, but Peppa Pig and Shaun the Sheep, and I could just watch them over and over again. But these are, cute animals that we connect with. The only difference is in our perception. We have been told that certain animals.
Firstly, as the founder of the DY Patil Climate Action Lab,
And as a 20-year-old of this generation, I am truly humbled and just inspired by your presence at this critical event. I would like to thank Dr. Sharang for his super insightful speech. I think all of us it's opened our eye, and especially the whole the last message, especially about adopting a plant-based diet. Actually, even my dad went vegan a couple of months ago, and now we all have started sort of adopting a plant-based diet. So I've seen firsthand, what it has done to his health and also the environment. So I urge you all, it's not that bad. It's quite actually the vegan food isn't that bad, and I've also been sort of trying to have plant-based food, so I can say that. As we all know, in the recent years, renewable energies are set to become the world's primary source of electricity, and this has been predicted by the International Energy Agency. This isn't some distant dream. It is a testament to human innovation and our ability to harness the power of nature itself. But our journey doesn't stop there. We all know that the ocean levels have been rising, sea surface temperatures have been increasing, and this has endangered our marine life. And again, these aren't just, superficial facts. These have been verified by different climate action groups and agencies such as the Climate Change Action Group. Now, you picture this. A recent study by the World Weather Attribution Team uncovered that human-caused climate change made this year's Canadian wildfires at least 7 times more likely than regular nature-caused wildfires. And these are not natural disasters. These are consequences of our actions. And our fingerprints on climate change are undeniable. And there are 5 main reasons for this. A, we've increased global temperature significantly. B, rising sea levels, continue to affect our coastal communities. C, glaciers are shrinking at an alarming rate. D, oceans are retaining more heat than usual. And D, as all of you may be knowing, the Arctic and Antarctic ice has been melting and disappearing before our eyes. Now imagine this, if we were to transition to renewable energy, the number of ships crossing the ocean would plummet by 40%. Why? Because they're carrying coal, oil and gas. Finite resources that burden our environment and jeopardize our future. Additionally, our path towards lower carbon intensity means that countries are producing fewer CO2 emissions per unit for economic output. This is not just environmentally responsible, but it is also economically viable. It's an economic opportunity. It's not a burden. Yet, some may question the urgency of our actions. The scientific consensus, and today I'm speaking to you as a student of geography, the scientific consensus backed by 96 to 100% of climate scientists point to human activities as a primary driver of climate change. Shifting to renewable energy and embracing regenerative agriculture isn't just a choice, but it is a moral imperative.
It's been such a exciting time for me personally, and I'm glad that I came for this program because I got to meet my my 91 student alumnus, and it's so satisfying to see all of you all have done so brilliantly well in your careers, and you all have become accomplished professionals in your field. It just makes the journey which was started by my father so meaningful and satisfying. And I think to all the students, I mean, if you're looking for any kind of role models, you all have all of them sitting over here in the first row, and I think you all are great examples for the students who are pursuing their education as to what can be accomplished with hard work and dedication. I think each and every single person deserves a separate acknowledgement, and I think I would love to kind of meet with you all and just hear from you about your journey once you all graduated from this institution. and I'll definitely speak to my father. I think it's something that he would be extremely happy to know about. And I think one of the great things about being managing education institutions is that whenever I travel, whenever I go to different places, it's to different cities in India as well as internationally, and we meet some of our alumni from different branches, and to see how successful they've been done. It's the tonic and the energy and the inspiration that we need to to make sure that whatever we've done, we've contributed a bit, and our journey has been truly worthwhile. So thank you for accepting the invitation from our School of Medicine for organizing this seminar. To the School of Medicine, I think congratulations. It's a very relevant topic. Dr. Vartikar, your presentation was fabulous and so insightful, and the way it was kind of put up, I think it forces and it kind of makes us introspect and think about how we should lead our life. And you kind of put up the entire so beautifully with all your slides, so it kind of just drives home the thought that environment and the merit of plant-based nutrition, it's something that needs to be really thought about very seriously. I think in my past speech I spoke about a little bit about because this is something that we rightly feel strongly about. As a medical college and as a medical institution, I think it's very important that we focus on these agendas. They may not be part of your core medical curriculum, but I think food nutrition is also something that needs to be given great importance in a medical institution. I do believe that, and when I interact with doctors, and I recently asked some of the doctors and students as to what is the amount of curriculum or studies that you do in terms of learning about food nutrition, and I believe that it's maybe a couple of topics or nothing more than that. But now the science is out there. We all understand the correlation of nutrition with with the occurrence of so many of the diseases that we face today in the present generation. Whether you talk about cardiovascular disease, we talk about cancer, we talk about diabetes. So everyone now clearly understands the link of nutrition with these these three diseases, which are the kind of the greatest healthcare challenges which we face in our present generation. So I think the medical institution can play a lead role in creating this conversation, this dialogue, to understand what the impact of all this is for the general health of humanity. So once again, my best wishes to everyone over here. Of course, today is being Teachers' Day. I want to express my gratitude to each and every faculty member out here, the professors who've been, who have devoted their lives towards imparting knowledge to the students. I think the work that you do is something, it's not, as I said, teaching, being a medical student, it's not just merely a profession, it's a privilege that all of you all enjoy in terms of helping people acquire knowledge, in terms of providing, a healing touch to the patients that you all treat. So it's a fantastic thing that you do, and I think we should feel privileged that we are in this situation where we can deliver those service to people around us. So once again, my best wishes to you on this day. Thank you.
I'm really glad you changed your mind, sir, because it's always great to hear from you. And I like to thank the batch of 1991 yet again for organizing this wonderful oration for us. Thank you so much, Dr. Vartikar, for speaking to us today, inspiring us all, and to Ms. Rajlakshmi for her perspective and for sharing her time to speak to us today.
attention.